Whenever you're ready.
Pray, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Cecily Cardew.
Cecily Cardew? What a very sweet name. Something tells me we're going to be great friends. I like you already more than I can say. My first impressions of people are never wrong.
How nice of you to like me so much after we've known each other such a comparatively short time. Pray, sit down.
I will always call you Cecily, may I not?
With pleasure.
And you will always call me Gwendolyn, won't you?
If you wish.
Then that is all quite settled, is it not?
I hope so.
Perhaps this is a favourable opportunity for my mentioning who I am. My father is Lord Bracknell. You've never heard of Papa, I suppose.
I don't think so.
Outside the family circle, Papa, I'm glad to say, is entirely unknown. I think that is quite as it should be. The home seems to me to be the proper sphere for the man. But certainly once a man begins to neglect his domestic duties, he becomes painfully effeminate. Does he not? I don't like that. It makes the man really attractive. Cecily, Mama, whose views on education are remarkably strict, has brought me up to be extremely short-sighted. It's part of a system. So, do you mind my looking at you through my glasses?
Oh, not at all, Gwendolyn. I'm very fond of being looked at.
You're here on a short visit, I suppose?
Oh no, I live here.
Really? Your mother, no doubt, or some female relative of advanced years resides here also?
Oh no, I have no mother, nor in fact any relations.
Indeed.
My dear guardian, with the assistance of this prison, has the odious task of looking after me.
Your guardian?
Yes, I'm Mr. Worthing's ward.
Oh. It is strange that he never mentioned he had a ward. How secretive of him. The man wears interesting hourly. Not quite sure that this news inspires me with feelings of unmixed delight. I'm very fond of you, Cecily. I have been ever since I met you. But I'm bound to state that now that I know that you're Mr. Worthing's ward, I cannot help expressing a wish that, well, you were just a little older and not quite very alluring in appearance. In fact, if I may speak candidly...
Pray do. I think whenever one has anything unpleasant to say, one should always be quite candid.
Well, to speak with perfect candour, I wish you were fully 42 and more than usually plain for your age. Ernest has a strong, upright nature. He is the very soul of truth and honour. Disloyalty would be as impossible to him as deception. Modern, no less than ancient history provides us with many most painful examples of what I refer to. If it were not so indeed, history would be quite unreadable.
I beg your pardon, Gwendolyn. Did you say Ernest?
Yes.
Oh, but it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is my guardian. It is his brother, his elder brother.
Ernest has never mentioned he had a brother.
I'm sorry to say they have not been on good terms for a long time.
Ah, that accounts for it. Now that I think of it, never heard of any man mention his brother. The subject seems distasteful to most men. Cecily, you have lifted a load from my mind. I was growing almost anxious. It would have been terrible if any cloud had come across a friendship like ours, would it not? But of course you're quite sure that it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is your guardian.
Quite sure. In fact, I am going to be his.
I beg your pardon?
Dearest Gwendolyn, there is no reason why I should make a secret of it to you. Our county newspaper is sure to chronicle the fact next week. Mr. Ernest Worthing and I are engaged to be married.
Cecily, my darling Cecily, I think there must be some slight error. Mr. Ernest Worthing is engaged to me. The announcement will appear in the Morning Post on Saturday at the latest.
I'm afraid you must be under some misconception. Ernest proposed to me exactly 10 minutes ago.
It is certainly quite curious. For the man asked me to be his wife yesterday afternoon at 5:30. If you wish to verify the incident, pray do so. I never travel without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read on the train. I'm really sorry, Cecily, if this comes as any disappointment to you, but I'm afraid I have the prior claim.
It would distress me more than I can tell you, dearest Gwendolyn, if it has caused you any mental or physical anguish. But I feel bound to point out that since Ernest proposed to you, he has clearly changed his mind.
If the poor fellow has been entrapped into some kind of foolish promise, make no mistake that I will rescue him at once, and with a firm hand.
Do you suggest, Miss Fairfax, that I have entrapped Ernest into an engagement? How dare you? This is no time to wear the shallow mask of manners. When I see a spade, I call it a spade.
I am glad to say that I have never seen a spade. It is quite obvious that we belong to completely different spheres of society. Are there many interesting walks in this vicinity, Miss Cardew?
Oh yes, a great many. From the top of one of the hills, one can see 5 counties.
5 counties? I don't think I should like that. I hate crowds.
I suppose that is why you live in town.
Quite a well-kept garden this is, Miss Cardew.
So glad you like it, Miss Fairfax.
I had no idea there were any flowers in the country.
Oh, flowers are as common here, Miss Fairfax, as people are in London.
Personally, I cannot understand how anybody can exist in the country. If anybody who is anybody does, the country always bores me to death.
Ah, that is what the newspapers call agricultural depression, is it not? I believe the aristocracy is suffering very much from it just at present. There's almost an epidemic amongst them, I have been told. May I offer you some tea, Miss Fairfax?
Oh, thank you. Detestable God. I require tea.
Sugar?
No, thank you. Sugar is not considered fashionable anymore.
Cake or bread and butter?
Bread and butter, please. Cake is rarely seen in the best houses nowadays. You have put lumps of sugar in my tea, and though I most distinctly asked for bread and butter, you have given me cake. I am known for the gentleness of my disposition and the extraordinary sweetness of my nature. But I warn you, Miss Cardew, you may go too far.
To save my poor, innocent, trusting boy from the maculations of any other girl, there are no lengths to which I would not go.
I have distrusted you ever since I saw you. I felt that you were false and deceitful. I am never deceived in such matters. My first impressions of people are never wrong.
It seems to me, Miss Fairfax, I'm trespassing on your valuable time. No doubt you have other calls of a similar character to make in the neighbourhood.
And
Okay, good. Good. Good work.